global news cycle today is about defining the bedrock of the world. From the prison cell of a former president to the high stakes battle for digital rights and a final defiant stance against gender violence, we're tracking the moments where the lines are being drawn in the sand. This is the global news update on top accolade news. The headlines: Italy introduces life sentence femicide law. Australian teens mount High Court challenge to under 16 social media ban. Bolsonaro ordered to begin 27-year prison term. Taiwan launches $40 billion defense plan. We begin in Italy. Italy's parliament has unanimously approved a new law defining femicide as a distinct crime punishable by life imprisonment, a move propelled by national outrage after the 2023 murder of a 22-year-old by her ex-boyfriend. While supporters say the legislation finally forces the country to confront gender-motivated violence, critics argue it is too vague to be effective, yet the moment's power lies in one of the truth echoed across Italy. Naming the violence is the first step to ending it. From Italy to Australia, another fight over rights. Two 15-year-olds have taken Australia's social media ban to the High Court, arguing the new rule set to bar 16s from platforms like Meta, TikTok, and YouTube from the 10th of December violate their constitutional rights to free communication. Despite government insistence, the measure is essential to protect children from online harm. Backed by the Digital Freedom Project, the challenge claimed the law disproportionately harms vulnerable youth and ignores safer alternatives, underscoring a sharp divide captured in one striking line from a challenger: protect kids with safeguard, not silence. From one fight for justice to another, the fight for democracy. Brazil's Supreme Court has ordered former President Jair Bolsonaro to start serving a 27-year prison sentence after his conviction for plotting to overturn the 2022 election, with Justice Alejandro de Moraes ruling all appeals exhausted and sending the 70-year-old to a federal police cell in Brasilia, where he was already held after tampering with his ankle monitor. The court found Bolsonaro had backed plans to assassinate President Lula and incited the 8th January riot, a dramatic downfall showing a coup attempt has finally met the rule of law. Turning now to Asia, where tensions are shaping the next chapter of geopolitics. Taiwanese President Lai Ching-te announced a $40 billion supplementary defense budget covering missiles, drones, and the new T-Dome air defense system, declaring there is no room for compromise on national security as China intensifies military pressure and Washington urges higher spending. The plan, running from 2026 to 2033, must clear the opposition-led parliament amid warnings from Beijing that Taipei is courting disaster. You're watching the Global News Update on Top Accolade News. Do stay with us. Still to come. Thanks for staying with us. Back on North American soil, economic battles are taking center stage. Prime Minister Mark Carney announced a $500 million in additional aid for softwood lumber producers, raising total support to $1.2 billion, alongside new restrictions on steel imports from non-free trade countries and a 50% subsidy for domestic transportation for lumber and steel. The measures aim to cushion Canadian industries from ongoing U.S. tariffs. When tariffs bite, government must step in to protect homegrown drugs and industry. From trade dispute to simmering international conflict, Cuba accused the United States of pursuing a violent overthrow of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, calling the increased U.S. military presence in the region exaggerated and aggressive, and warning it would violate international law and risk widespread instability. Cuban Foreign Minister Bruno Rodriguez urged Americans to stop the madness, underscoring the stark reality that one nation's strategic maneuvers can ignite a humanitarian and geopolitical crisis across an entire hemisphere. To a moment of lighter, heartwarming culture. Robert Irwin has claimed this year's Dancing with the Stars title, a decade after his sister Bindi won, delivering standout performances, including emotional tribute to his late father Steve Irwin. The victory cements the 21-year-old's growing public legacy, framed by one moving truth he voiced through tears, hoping his father will be proud. And finally, on the world of sports. FIFA has suspended the final two games of Cristiano Ronaldo's three-match ban, allowing the Portugal captain to play in next year's World Cup after being sent off for an air ball in a qualifier against Ireland. The 40-year-old will serve the suspension only if he commits a similar offense during a one-year probation, keeping him on track for the sixth World Cup and pursuit of one major trophy still missing from his career. Every story tonight underscores the same truth. Nothing that matters is settled, only defended. The fight for justice, dignity, and survival continues. I will be here to hold the line with you. For Top Accolade News, I'm Jeremy Okocha. Do have a wonderful day and keep watching the global news updates on Top Accolade News.